Ahon actually wanted to create that state called Afesan State. So, do not listen to people who are coming to tell you Afe might not be Esan. Those are social media talk. You go and look at our cultural affinities. You look at our language. You listen to our language. In short, this person where they tell you say Afe might not be Esan. If instant now Afe might they speak and Esan they speak, he not going even know the one will be Esan, the one will be Afe might for inside. He not gonna know or shit. He not gonna know. They will not know. If Young Bolivia they play music, you hardly differentiate Young Bolivia music from Wadada music. We use the same rhythm, the same weddings. You will not know, but these people will just come on social media. People who are from Europe, from village to Europe, who only know their community, and from that their community to Ring Road, they travel to Europe. They don't know any other place. They have not carried out any research. They fed themselves with the lies that have been circulated by their fellows on social media, and they will come and tell you that Afe might not be Esan. When we don't need formal school education for we to be able to know what the Afe are saying, most especially the Onwa people. You don't. These are another clan. Just as you have Onwa, you have Ugboha, you have Uromi, you have Igwebe, so on and so forth. These are all clans of the Esan. But it was when they created artificial local government area in the space called Edo State today, they seeded all those people away. Initially, those people were part and parcel of Esan stock when we were AGBE Zilolo and Okbewolo. Then when they created states and local government area, they balkanized AGBE Zilolo and Okbewolo, seeded a lot of or some of Esan stock away from AGBE Zilolo and Okbewolo to form more local government areas. Our political elite, they kept mute under the view of Okpa Mahin, not knowing that Okpa Mahin was a deceit to balkanize us so as to enable them dominate us. But no matter what it is, anyhow it be, if you like, make I use pidgin English, if you carry monkey commots, go put on, train that monkey where they born and train at John Humans or train at John chimpanzee. You carry monkey comot, go train monkey John chimpanzee, they grow together. You will still be able to know, say this one are chimpanzee, this one are monkey. No matter how they do it, even if they balkanize that Bazilolo and Okbewolo, which were Esan entity, those Esan people that have been seeded away from from Esan local government or the supposed Esan local government, when you see them, you will still know that these are Esan people. You see the analogy I use. If you carry monkey, when the newborn monkey now, you carry and come on, go train them together with chimpanzee. When they don't grow up, even when they never grow up, you will still know say this one are chimpanzee, this one are monkey. So my people, Esan State is going to do a lot of good for us as Esan people, and not just us. It's going to do a lot of good for that region because more revenue will be allocated to that region. Thank you, IDEMUDIA. You wanted to say something?
Yes. So I want to also address this. When people say that, when you advocate for Esan State, you bringing disunity or hatred or division. That's not true. I'll give you an example. When Malaysia and Singapore were together, they thought it wise that, okay, you know what? As at then, Singapore was not a viable entity, right? And they were just almost the same circle, right? And the Malaysians felt that, okay, you know what? We are the ones feeding Singapore. They use our revenue. And Lee Kuan Yew, who was the then person of Singapore, said, okay, let's put it to test. He's ready to go his separate ways. They met in the parliament and they went separate. But today, what Singapore have achieved, Malaysia have not achieved a quarter. So what am I saying? The thing is, it's not wrong to take your destiny in your own hands. If you look where we are coming from, Bender State used to be one entity.
Exactly.
But people felt that, okay, you know what? We are tired of this. We don't want to do this anymore. And what did they do? There were a referendum and they created Delta states. I will go to mention here that what Delta states have achieved. I don't think Edo State as a state, as of today, we can achieve that in the next 10 years. That is Delta State. Delta State have more resources. Their economy is more open. They have more infrastructural advancement compared to Edo State. So it will be of good to everyone in the state. I see it as, I don't know. I see it as everybody's favor. Now, look at the allocation federal government is giving to Edo State. In all sincerity, it's not enough for Edo North or Edo South to even begin with. So they have to share it around, right? Now, if you look at their local government, they need infrastructure. There are schools in there that are not viable. There was a lady who came on the platform, was it 2 days ago? And he was talking about their school being abandoned for like 20 years in Okerue community. So I asked the lady, where do your people go to school? I mean, he told me they go to school in Ekboma and Iroekme. Right? So that is to show you that there's a need for us to be smarter than Nigerian entity. If you go to the northern part of Nigeria, they have more local government. In fact, there is this thing that most people don't know. You see the northerners, if they had crude oil, they would want to be with us, the southerners. No. They will not. Erufai say it every day. He say if the North have the crude oil that the South have, they will not want to be with us. Why should they be with us? When they have the land and they don't have crude oil, they will not want to be with us. So we need to be smarter than Nigerian government, right? Now, everybody needs development. That's how I say it. Everybody needs development. Even in Delta State that is well developed to an extent, you have Warri and Anyoma people still advocating to have their state. So that's to show you it's about representation. It's about development, right? When you are not developing and you are moving on a slow pace, and you know that, okay, I can do this, I got this. Why not advocate for it? For me, I do write letters every now and then to federal government, right? Because for me, I have looked at those states. Yeah, there's not really much we can really do as an Esan people, because we in all honesty, we have to wait for an Esan governor to come maybe every 15 years, 20 years to come and do roads in Edo Central. For me, that's not sustainable. That's why I focus my energy more on federal government, because federal government is like for everybody. Okay, for instance, I have already wrote a bill to the committee in committee in the House of Rep to upgrade the National Institute of Construction in Oromi to a full-fledged university. Why? Because that will drag the attention of the federal government to Esan a bit. And also the IRA specialist hospitals also need to be upgraded, right? So I think these are the two federal entities we have in Esan. I think Ahomu brought IRA specialists, Tony Aneni brought the National Institute of Learning and all of that. So for me, it's going to be a win-win for everybody, right? Because Esan people have their state doesn't mean you are not brothers or friends with them. I don't see it that way. To the best of my ability, the Benin people are very good people, right? I don't have any, so to say, bad experience with them. They are Uchi, they are famous, they are very conservative people because they are Muslim in nature. Like me, I'm not a Muslim, I'm a Catholic person, but I flow with them because they are very chill. I have a lot of them as my friend. So I think we should have a round table and say, you know what, you want development, we need development. Why don't we hold our hands together in unity and say, okay, let's look at this thing properly. Is this what we want? Is this not what we want? For me, I'm in support of Esan State 1000%, right? So I also wrote down the possible alliance, right, that we can have to make sure that this don't just become a dream, but it become a reality, right? We need to engage the media and civil service society to amplify the need for creation of a sun state. And I thank you very much, Mr. AGBE. You have done it for more than 4 years now. I think the map of Esan was well carved by you, right? The religious and sociocultural leaders, the Pan-Esan group, like the indigenous people of Esan, Esan Congress, and etc. So for me, for Esan to be a reality, we need strategic alliances, diaspora, involvement, our traditional rulers, our politicians, the ethnic groups in diaspora, right? Like I said, Esan have huge number in abroad. We can engage like minds brothers of the Bini extraction, the Afema extraction, or one extraction to see reasons amongst ourselves why we should be smarter than the Nigerian entity. Because you see the Yorubas are people that I love to watch when it comes to Nigerian politics because they have been able to be smarter than the Nigerian populace. The Yorubas could have stayed in one state and said they want a very larger this thing. But they were very smart to say no. Although we are in a different state, but what holds us together is the Omoluabi spirit. So the Yorubas are very smart. They are very smart. In fact, they are even proposing additional states to add to their 6 states. So you can see they want to break it down to the pieces where the development will go round because Edo State is big. Edo State is about 70,000 plus square kilometers of land, and it will take billions of miles to develop each and every one of these places. And guess what? What Edo State is making in 4 months is what Delta State, our neighbors, Delta State is making in 1 month. What we make in 4 months as a state, right? What we make Edo State currently, what we make in 4 months is what Delta State make in 1 month. They get more allocation. If you send project proposal to federal government now as an Edo indigene, and you send a Delta State person send proposal to federal government, they will listen to that Delta person first. You know why? Delta State have contribute the tons of money to federal government. Bayelsa, Delta State, Rivers. These are like the boyfriends of federal government. Although Edo State contribute, but it's not really worth it like that. They don't really care. That is why they abandoned the federal roads in Edo State, because for them, they have Delta State, they have River State, they have Bayelsa. So what is the need to bother ourselves by those states? So we must be smarter than the federal government and Nigeria. Then lastly, we must do it with sense of responsibility, brotherhood, and love. Right? Why did I say this? For me, I believe in unity and numbers, but that does not mean that we should not know ourselves. No, we must know ourselves, right? But if you are cooperated, you can see a superior with a superior argument and say, okay, this is why we want to do this. This is why we want to do this. You see, superior arguments will always win. I'm not somebody that through insultive words. I'm very educated, not to throw insultive words. I always like superior arguments to win. So that is why any forum I go, I always say that look, let's do away with the insult. We are educated people. We are intellectual, mobile people, right? Let's put the superior argument before us, and let's put the facts and figures before us. I have debated a lot of people from Benin, right? They feel that, in fact, a place like Orion should be a state. 100%. Because Edo State alone is bigger than 4 states in the southeast, and they are state, oh, and they are even proposing that look, the center that make up South State, the southeast, there is a center that connect them, Ebonyi, Imo, Enugu, Anambra. That center, they are even proposing to make it a state. I was opportune to be one of the members in the 2014 Jonathan Confab. I proposed that, look, we should bring back Midwest states and cut Delta and Edo into 3 states and make it a region, right? Why did I say that? Because if you look at our fathers, okay, if you look at what our fathers stood for, the likes of Anthony and all of that, they wanted us to be in the confide of the national politics. If you recall very well, Enahoro was a staunch man of Awolowo, the MPN days, the old Western region. Enahoro was part and parcel of the big men, the politician then the old Western region. So they wanted to position us at the federal, because today nobody respects us in Nigeria, because while our political identity has been watered down over the years, and currently there are 3 things you need to: resources. If you don't have political value, nobody will really care for you like that. People have to say, oh, look, we are going to Edo State. Can Edo State give me 2 million votes? Oh, this state is very important. This. So we have to come into a consensus, respectfully, do it with brotherhood, love, and respectfully. And say, okay, we want to develop ourselves, guys. Let's do this, let's do this. For me, if they bring back old Midwestern region, which I pray for, and split the state into 6 states, that is 6 governors, we can have is a regional security architecture to protect this territory. Okay? When people say South, I don't know what is South, Ijos and all of that. I don't say Asawana. I'm not an Asawana person, right? But if we bring that old Midwestern region, our brothers who are Asabas, Urobo. We can even become a larger federative bodies at the federal level. So for me, it's not a fight or a do or die affair, but let the superior argument win. Let the facts and figures be presented
Thank you very much.
so that we know where we are as a people. For me, I debated this thing long time ago that look, Edo State's development is very slow. Even Delta State that their development is like ahead of us, they still want to split the state to make it even faster. That is what Ned Woko is doing. That is what they did with the Warri state that you're saying, right? So we as Edo people or Esan people, we need to say, okay, you know what, guys, we want development in our region. We want it to be fast. Now, imagine getting allocation as Edo State, now the Benin region alone. Imagine getting allocation as Esan State or Afema State. You are not going to share it with everybody now. You are going to say, okay, now we are 12 local governments that make up this state. Now, let's start developing key areas. From there, if you are very consistent and you devoid of corruption and everything, which is one of the factors killing us, you are going to see in the next 10, 15 years, you will have produced a lot of human resources, develop your people to have capacity to compete globally, and have educated number of people, then, also have self-sufficient industries around your state. So for me, the advantages and benefits is enormous. And if we look at it holistically, it's going to do good for everybody. So that's how I say. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Alvin.
Yes.
For your time, I want to appreciate you once more. And
Thank
this
you
is
very
just
much.
the series one of this subject matter. We are going to come up next week again. And maybe by then it will be 4 of us or 3 of us, as we may have it be. But let me quickly say this for the benefit of adding more onion to the intellectual lectures that you have dished out. You see, what is killing Edo State today is because of a people who don't have vast knowledge, a people who always only see themselves, who assume that when their hands are broad, that means that power they are sitting upon has been reduced. Those who are intoxicated with power just want to make sure that they sit in that same place and from there control every other person's. By so doing, thinking that when they sit there, centralize power through which they will be able to control other people, they don't know that heroic rule did not stand the test of time. And heroic rule will never stand the test of time. If you try to practice heroic rule, whereby you will just sit in one territory and try to buckle everything up to yourself, instead of you to ensure that you spread your tabernacles. But you assume that when you spread it like that, those that you feel that they are under you will no longer be under you. That is where they missed it out. And that is why Edo State, as big as Edo State became only 18 local government areas. I also want to use Esan as a case study for you to know that if Esan happens to become a state, we are going to flourish very fast, very rapid. Before, right in the very presence of Edo State, Bayelsa was created, but you cannot compare Bayelsa with Edo State today. Bayelsa have left Edo State behind. Edo State seniors Bayelsa State. Edo State, the place called Edo State today, the territory called Edo State today, that is where Delta State came from. Now, looking at it from this spectacle, I am going to use loose confederation monarchical structure. Any entity who practice loose confederation monarchical structure, you will know that those entities, they are vast in knowledge. And if they are independent on their own, they will do exploits. What do I mean by loose confederation monarchical system or structure? It is a situation where a particular community, clan, or kingdom is independent from the other community, or from the other kingdom, or from the other clan, even though they are the same stock. Even though they are the same stock. When you go to Esan land, all the kingdoms in Esan land are independent from each other. Esan don't practice centralized governance or centralized, it is from the people heritage, their political stool or political flag is placed. Now, the way you people govern yourself culturally is how you people are going to govern yourself also politically. I use the United Kingdom as a case study. United Kingdom is a kingdom whereby you have the Scottish, you have the Irish, you have the Wales, and all of that. They are independent from each other, but they are one entity. Now, when you now come to Edo State, you look at Esan land and you look at the other land. I'm making reference. You look at the other land and you see that Esan land, all the monarch they have there, the kingdoms they have there, they are practicing loose confederation. In other words, a particular monarchy or monarchy system whereby every kingdom, they are independent from each other. Now, if you look at Europe, you look at America, you look at most Asia countries, do you know why they are succeeding? It is because they are practicing true federalism. True federalism is likened unto loose confederation monarchical structure, where every region will manage their resources by themselves. If you look at any centralized system, it's a system to draw you back, is a system to dominate you, and is a system to help you, to lead you not to progress. Any centralized system. It is because the centralized monarchy there in Edo State have always tried to centralize everything it is that concerns Edo State. They have always tried to centralize even the chairmanship of the Edo State Traditional Council that is even supposed to be rotational. Now, when you look at Nigeria as a whole, you will see that Nigeria is suffering. Nigeria is not growing because they centralize the system. Any system that is centralized is a greedy system. Because when a system is centralized, other people will not develop because everything, every homage is paid to you only. Then you will not take peanuts to give to the other parts. That is the problem Edo State is having. I am saying it out now for you people to look into it. And I also want to say this to clear your doubts. That for those of you that are assuming that we are just here on TikTok, you don't know what we are doing. Don't assume that we are here on TikTok. We are only using TikTok as a secondary parameter to also enlighten the general public of Esan. Not that we have not ventured into diplomatic promise. Before now, that was how they underestimated Esan agenda. They underestimated the Esan agenda. They bet with me. Many of them, Imanso is old, all of them. What is his name now? Wounded civilian, so on and so forth. They bet with me and bet with so many Esan people that Esan will never produce a government, that the Esan agenda is a dead on arrival mission. When they were hearing us talking about Esan agenda on social media, they thought it was a social media thing, not knowing that there is already the foundation that has been dug. But today, the Esan agenda what has it turned to be? It has turned to be Esan agenda for real. Exactly the same, this Esan state you're hearing now on social media. This Esan state you're hearing now, the same thing. Now, the videos for this person who says is a lie before I will mute him, their videos are there. We have series, we have like Utete Negiabi spoke. We have some of their Edo actress and actors who came aboard, did a video that Esan should not become governor. They did a video to advise their people. Their videos are there. We have it. Imasuen Ezoduwa came up and did a video. Wounded Civilian came up and did a video. What am I trying to say? Why am I bringing all this? It is to let them know that was how they underestimated the Esan agenda. They assume, they are telling us now that go and fight. You are not the one to tell us. Can't you listen? When you listen to us, can't you hear that these are people that are intelligent? You are not the one to tell us the road to pass. Listening to us on social media doesn't mean that something is not cooking already. Something is cooking already. And that is why the ground on which you are standing is quaking beneath your feet. The ground on which you are standing is already quaking beneath your feet. And that is why people are coming up to abuse us, to say Esan land is dead land, nothing will happen there and all of that. But let me leave it there because I'm not here for you people. We are here to educate our Esan people, some of our Esan people who might have believed all you people are peddling on social media place, most especially this TikTok. So that is why we are coming out to speak. It's not because we are not cooking something already. Something is cooking already. Just as it is during the era of the Esan agenda, so it's going to be during this era now. So for those of you that is of this school of thought, thinking that Esan state will not come to pass, I want to let you know that the Esan don't start when others must have started. Yes, you must have seen that others must have started their call for their state. But Esan don't do that. Esan don't start when others must have started. I want you to know that when Esan stand up and start, they will overtake. They always overtake. There is nothing Esan start. We don't start first. We don't always strive to become the first, but we strive to get it right. We are not in a competition with anybody. That is why we don't strive to be the first. That is why it is not in our adage that we don't strive to be the first. We strive to get it right, and we've always gotten it right. So that is what it is. That is what it is. I repeat, we don't strive to be the first. We only strive to get it right. And we don't start when others must have started. But when we start, we always overtake. Thank you very much for your time. And then before we go, let me allow my guest to give us his last word. Then we are good to go for tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone that came to listen. As my brother said, next week will come, and also, I don't know. I was wanting that maybe somebody could come up and ask a question. So next week I will also be here. If you have any question, I'm going to answer it. Right. So thank you, everyone. So if some people, let's embrace love, peace, and unity. Let's unite among ourselves. For me, unity is power, and there's a lot we can do with unity, right? Let's always remember home. Build your home. Build something in your community if you have money. For me, all my houses, my industries are in Esan. I'm even praying that God give me more money. I want to establish myself in the whole 35 kingdom of Esan, because with deep research and learning, I see that Esan land is a fruit that is yet to be eaten. A very fresh fruit, a nice fruit. So I want to thank everybody that came, people who gifted me. Thank you very much. Somebody was calling me here. Somebody called me here and he said he was looking at me on Facebook and I was like, I don't know. So thank you very much, everyone. I want us to continue to embrace peace. We are people of peace and love. We are known to be educated, successful millionaires. No doubt about that. When the Esan man speak,
Ladybug,
even our people with normal degrees, even the way they speak and judge cases, these are arrays that is well coordinated.
Thank you
So,
for
my
your gift.
people,
Thank you for your gift.
there is no much to say about this. Let's unite ourselves. Let's coordinate ourselves. Distinguish yourself as an Esan person. Let people be, when you stand out, let people know that no, this Esan man is not just the talk anyhow. When he speak with wisdom. He speak with intelligence. He speak with sense of humor. Okay, so I'm proud to be an Esan man. I'm proud to be an Urovi man. I'm proud to be an Arwe man. Okay, most people don't know that Tony and Nenny is from my village. Okay, so you can see I'm filled with pride already. So my people, God bless you people. Let's continue to preach peace and love. Let's ignore the negative vibe because Esan Marok Bite and John, where situation, whether they say our whether situation. So let's
KG?
ignore the noise. Let's focus on what we are doing. For me, I don't soak myself in bad energy. I always align myself with positivity, education, and people who are well learning. For me, I pay thousands of euros to attend online classes, listen to top professors in the world. So because I want to be somebody who is known for dishing out intelligence, not people who is known for doing problem causing nuisance online. And so my people, always encourage yourself to speak Esan. Me saboze san o. Oya say bo me what saboze san. Esan me what saboze. I can speak Esan from now to like gbogbo aboye. You see, I'm a miss. I can speak Italian. I can speak English. I can speak Esan. You know, I even have an Esan name before. My document was constituted of English name. I said, no, I'm an Esan man. Who don't be man for that matter? Omoni only cabie. I gave my Esan name, I dust it and I put it in my document. As an Esan person, be proud to give yourself your Esan name. Bear your Esan name with pride. Wear your Ibulu. Our women, make your eto, you know, that Esan hair. Wear your Ukpo Dudu, you know.
Okuku or
So,
actually make your kuku.
yes, you know, make up nice.